to like explain what I found in a way that it makes sense to other people. I had like a hard time like expressing a lot of experiences like public speaking, presenting stuff to other people that really helped me like come out my shell and like be more expressive. I really want other students to go through high school the same way I did, with like people that really care about you, how you learn, and they just want you to like move forward in life and be like somebody great. After college, I want to work on airplanes, specifically more on making them more carbon efficient. I don't want that much pollution to get released into the environment. I really care about the environment, so if there's anything I could do to make the world a better place, that's something I would certainly do. I am David Fernandez. I am a future engineer. I am SDP.
I was born and raised in Philadelphia. I got a great opportunity with the School District of Philadelphia. I had teachers who cared about me, teachers who poured into me. We need to expose children to different experiences so that way their brain starts opening up, their desires start opening up. This is what I want to pursue in the future. We really try to immerse students in technology. We have a group that does history hunters, and they go different areas in the city to talk about the history. We also have students that have been participating with the opera company in Philadelphia. Give them that experience now, and that's going to open up a different world for them. I am Jason Carrion. I am an elementary school principal. I am SDP.
I choose to teach here in Philadelphia because I'm a product of the school district. My mentors always instilled that giving back is important, especially if you want your community to be successful, you have to give back. Teachers in the school district of Philadelphia make a difference every day by showing up, preparing our youth with all the skills needed after graduation, just being there, getting to know their students, building relationships. I try to create a classroom environment that's inviting, engaging, belonging. I want my students to feel empowered. I want them to make mistakes, learn from their mistakes. I want them to grow, take advantage of their own learning. And I want them to leave here with a growth mindset. It's important that my students leave my classroom with both technical, personal, and workplace skills. So the students learn things like job interview, resume, interviewing, just being relatable, presentable, communication. So they get hands-on technical skills, but they also learn how to work in the workplace, and personal skills, just growing up and being an adult. My students mean everything to me. I love them.
Would everyone please take your seat who's assembled today to join us? Good morning, Happy New Year. I know you have a lot of people you haven't seen in a long time, but please come in and take your seats. Okay. What a spirited morning. Isn't it beautiful? The marching band from none other than West Philadelphia High School. Who's bold enough to rock it with them? Come on, stand to your feet. Stand to your feet. Rock it with them. Come on. I know some of you adults in the room can stand up and rock it. If you missed them at the Thanksgiving Day Parade, you got your own first row seat. Thank you. The marching orange and blue from West Philadelphia High School. Let's give them a round of applause. We also have several cheerleaders in the aisles, and we want to give them their due. They're about to go compete in the Pennsylvania Interscholastic Athletic Association, also known as PIWA. And just so you know who they are, we have the GAMP Pioneers. Their coach is also in the room, Stephanie Ferriola. We also have the George Washington Eagles and their coach, Michelle Sorkin-Saki. Our next group of cheerleaders from School of the Future, Firebirds. They are coached by Donna McGilberry-Wilson. And we've got two coaches here today from West Philadelphia. One, the coach of the band, Brian Van Hook, Give him a round of applause. He's the band director. And we also have the West Philadelphia Speed Girls cheerleading squad, coached by Aisha Swindell. Let's show them some Philly love as they go and compete. We know they're going to make Philly proud when they compete this weekend at the PIWA. Now, would everyone take their seats as we enter the official portion of our program with the national anthem and Lift Every Voice and Sing, performed by Sashika Lindor from Fells High School. Her director is Brian Morris Jr. Sashika, please come on up. Thank you.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, said us that star-spangled, that often rain, o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave. Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling seas. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of a new day begun, let us march on till victory's won. Let us march on till victory's won. Let us march on till victory is won.
Ms. Lindor, beautiful. Both inspiring and a beautiful performance of Lift Every Voice and Sing and the national anthem, the Star Spangled Banner. What a way to start the address for the 2026 State of Schools. Today you're going to hear how under the leadership of Superintendent Tony B. Watlington Sr., the School District of Philadelphia is now among the fastest improving large urban districts in the country. Before we get started, we'd like to recognize all of the dignitaries who have joined us today. If you are an elected official, please stand. I know you're starting your year off busy, and we appreciate you taking the time to join us this morning. I'd like to now introduce the 100th mayor of Philadelphia, Madam Mayor Sherelle L. Parker, to offer greetings from the city. She's the first woman to lead the city in 300 years. Why did it take so long? Before taking the top spot as the city's leader, she dedicated her life to public service. She's a former public school teacher, which she is not shy about. She's a legislator for the state who headed the Philadelphia delegation when representing the Northwest Corridor of Philadelphia. Also a member of Philadelphia City Council, where she represented the 9th District, and she rose to become Majority Leader, which should not surprise anyone assembled today. Now as mayor, she is charging all of Philadelphia to unite and work together as one Philadelphia, a united city. And as you might imagine, she's got a jam-packed day, so she will be departing as soon as she concludes her remarks. But without further ado, join us in welcoming Mayor Sherelle L. Parker to the podium. No worries.
Thank you. Oh, thank you. You're kind. You're kind. Let's get started. Thank you so much. Monique Braxton, thank you so very much for that warm and kind introduction. I have to be honest, and is there a way I could just have just a tad bit more light if possible? Don't tell anybody. I need to see. We'll make do. So when I saw the band, and Monique, you said they were from Gant? No, that was West Philly?
West Philly was the band.
West Philly was the, so listen, let me tell you, that West Philly band, you know what I was thinking about?
Right there,
Where is she? Stands up, Principal of West Philly. Give her a round of applause. Oh. Is this Ella Travis's daughter? Listen, I've got to straighten up and fly right. Her mother was the vice principal of my middle school, the Austin Meehan Middle School, Dr. Ella Travis. Small world, isn't it? So listen, in my mind, Madam Principal, all I saw was scholarships for the marching band because they are readily available. And then the cheerleaders from Gant, from George Washington, the School of the Future. Let's listen. You know, I'm biased, and I don't ever think cheerleaders get the recognition they deserve. Give our cheerleaders a round of applause. My Oak Lane Wildcats, I started thinking about my Wildcat days. It's an honor and a privilege to be here on today, but before I begin, I really need to thank the elected officials who are present here on today for the state of the city and our school district of Philadelphia. You hear me talk a lot about intergovernmental cooperation and collaboration. And when it comes to ensuring that our school district of Philadelphia and our students and parents, they have the support that they need, City of Philadelphia can't do it alone. So I want to ask the council member for this district, Council Member Lozada, to stand up. Just keep and remain standing. Rep. Burgos, stand up for me, please. Council Member Phillips, 9th District. Head of the Black Caucus, Rep. Napoleon, stand, please. And I don't know if she's elected, but they gave me Quibbler Divine. Quibbler, can you stand? Okay, well, she gave me your name as an elected official. I just want to note for the record. And listen, I am unapologetic about this. I am a pro-worker, pro-labor, pro-union mayor, and I want Art, I want you and all of the labor leaders who are here to please stand. This is extremely important. I'm not sure if Robin is, thank you. There's my Rob. Listen, extremely important, and don't sit down. If you feel embarrassed, I'm trying to. Stay right there. It is also important right now for us to acknowledge the presence of our governor's office. If you ever question the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania's commitment to public education, when our governor, Josh Shapiro, began serving our Commonwealth, he made it very clear through his actions that he supported public education. And I want the governor's office to please to give him a round of applause. Thank you. And then finally, it's three other people. One has been ensuring that messages regarding the school district of Philadelphia are communicated across the city, making sure that the good works that the school district of Philadelphia, is actually engaged in on a daily basis, that it's reported. And with that being said, I want Bob Bogle and Counsel Bob Archie from Duane Morris. Bob Bogle's from the Philadelphia Tribune, and Bob Archie is from Duane Morris. And then there's the, not yet, please stand, Mr. Bogle, I didn't ask you to sit down yet. This next gentleman, if you don't know him, you should. And you don't know him, but you know of his work. When you think about the training and professional development that has been readily available for principals in the school district of Philadelphia, when you think about math curriculum, when you think about supports, coaching, so many different investments that are made in the school district of Philadelphia, the Philadelphia Police Department, a new cohort, talk about investing in education, a new cohort, master's level program for police officers in the school, in the city of Philadelphia. His foundation has done that work. You won't see his name on a building. You won't see his name on a flyer. He's more comfortable in getting it done. And I want you to know we are grateful. I'm going to ask Joe Neubauer and the Neubauer Foundation to please stand. I'm sorry, Joe. You can holler at me later. Okay, thank you all so much. I wanted to make sure you were recognized. Let me just affirm for the record, Dr. Watlington, along with our board president, Streeter, along with Vice President Ashley, and the entire Board of Education. I want to affirm that the strength of this district, it reflects the seriousness of its leadership. And I am very proud of the partnership that we share. And I'm proud of it because if you look at the school district of Philadelphia over the past year, the school district has continued to make steady and meaningful progress. Well, what do you mean when you say that, Mayor? Test scores are rising, attendance is improving, dropout rates are declining, and those gains are real, and they reflect what happens when we invest in our students. And it's important for me to affirm for the viewing public who's not here, this progress doesn't happen by accident. It only happens because of the educators, the school staff, the families, and the students who show up every day committed to learning. And I want to thank each and every one of you for your work. Please give the leadership a huge, huge round of applause. Let me affirm that, it feels like a whole lot longer than this, but I've just learned that I've only been here for 2 years. Bob Bogle, it feels like 100 years, right? But from my first days as mayor, I've been clear. Education is not just one priority among many for the Parker administration. It is foundational for our administration. And we back that priority with action. And my friends from the Pennsylvania House of Representatives, they know this about me, along with those in City Council. I come from the Baldwin-esque school of thinking. I don't believe what you say until I see what you do. So if you say that you're committed to public education and you are elected to public office, you should have some very tangible, actionable items that you have moved on and enacted to affirm your investment and commitment to public education. So what have we done as a city? The city of Philadelphia has made sustained, long-term investments in our schools because our children's needs are urgent and they're ongoing. And so Councilmember Lozada and Councilmember Phillips, I'm real proud that we've stepped up in City Hall. How? In my first One Philly budget, we shifted $25 million in property tax revenue to the school district of Philadelphia. And that was the first budget. And the second 5-year plan shifted another $12 million, started in FY30. Now, this is why this is important. And you have to, the viewing public, parents, educators, and stakeholders, I hope you will connect these dots even more, particularly for those of us that you elect the public office to represent the school district of Philadelphia. When I was on the trail, I committed to working to see a 3% shift of property tax revenues going to our schools. And the reason why I had to say it is because it's easy to say that you support public education. You can do that in a number of ways. But when you commit to a specific number, now you have a way to hold me accountable. And how we're shifting those taxes to the school district, you have to be able to measure. And that's not just for me, that's for anyone who's elected to public office. And so I am happy that we're halfway through. I'm only on year 2, and we've shifted 1.5% of that property tax revenue to the school district, and I'm keeping my promise to our children. And I am really happy about that, and I hope that you are pleased to see that shift in revenue to the school district of Philadelphia. I think that's something we should be proud of, Councilmember Phillips and Councilmember Lozada. Again, we can't do this work alone. Governor Shapiro, our Philadelphia legislative delegations in Harrisburg, especially our Speaker Joanna McClinton, our House Appropriations Chairman Jordan Harris, and our Senate Appropriations Chairman Senator Hughes, for insisting that public education was non-negotiable and for fully delivering on the governor's budget address. That's important for us to affirm. Why? Because every child deserves a fair chance at a quality public education. In addition to that, it's important for us to affirm that our partnership with the district, it goes well beyond funding. It's not just a money thing. Together, we are working to strengthen the systems that support not just our students, but their caregivers and their family members from an early learning throughout their careers. So a critical part of this work is rebuilding and sustaining the educator workforce. Now, thank you, Monique, for affirming, and I always state this for the record. I am a certified secondary English teacher by profession. And I have to remind people that means that I had to pass the NTE in the praxis for real in order to get my certification. I'm really, really proud about that. Now, somebody is in the audience saying, certified secondary English teacher, and you passed that NTE in praxis, but you spelled Eagles wrong. I did. Teachers make mistakes sometimes, too. Nevertheless, that educator workforce is extremely important. So I want you to know that we are investing in stronger teacher pipelines and supporting retention and creating pathways, Representative Derecha Parker, that reflect the diversity of our students and respect the profession. Listen to this. The share of teachers of color in the district and charter schools has grown to 38.5%. Listen, that's the highest rate since 2001, and that is largely driven by the recruitment of teachers of color who represented 57% of new hires last year. You always hear me say you can't be what you don't see, right? So you need to see yourself. That's why it's important that the diversity that exists within the entire city of Philadelphia, it is reflected in our classrooms, in our city, in our state government, wherever we are. So I'm super proud about that. Another key part of the strategy is something that I talked about on the trail. And Dr. Watlington, I think people were trying to frame it, but I don't think that they quite understood at the beginning what we were describing when they heard me mention that I wanted year-round schooling for our young people in the city of Philadelphia. And our extended day, extended year initiative is actually implementing, and it is the vehicle through which we are making access to educational opportunities available year-round. And what do I mean? At its core, our EDEY is an academic strategy. It's expanding learning time, it's providing tutoring, enrichment, and a deeper connection to school. It is also supporting working families by providing free, safe, and high-quality care beyond the school day. Because of EDEY, students across the city are discovering new interests, building schools and developing confidence, whether they're exploring STEM, the arts, or athletics. And I want to thank these members of my team, their leadership and their partnership. Our Chief Deputy Mayor, Vanessa Garrett Harley, and our Chief Education Officer, Dr. Deborah Carrera, Sharon Ward, Jessica Shapiro. They turned the vision into a reality. I can think it, Councilmember Gaultier. I can think it, but you've got to have a strong staff who understands the assignment and they can implement the vision. What does it look like now? 40 schools now, both traditional public and public charters, and 12,000 extended day, extended year slots. In fact, I want you to think about this. Over 2,100 students, and I want you to think about this. Over 2,100 students enrolled in our winter break camp this year. The fill rate for the winter break last year was 66%. We had just started, Art. We had a 66% fill rate last year. This year, winter break, the fill rate was 87%. Don't tell me it's not working. So just last week, we visited some extended day, extended year winter break camps, and Dr. Carrera told me about parents with young children at Solace Cohen Elementary. I haven't been there, Dr. Watlington and President Streeter, so and Sarah, you got to take me. I've got to go there to see this. They told me about parents there who had been considering, I want you to listen to this choice, parents who have been considering whether or not one of them would have to leave the workforce because they couldn't afford after-school care for their children. But thanks to the extended day, extended year initiative, that's no longer the choice that they have to make. Those parents can go to school and their children, clearly they have access to academic enrichment programs. Let's give that family a round of applause. Finally, I want to close here, and I've got to make sure I mention this because this is a topic of major discussion, and this is the issue of our school facilities. Many of our buildings are aging. Philadelphia is an old city. Our housing stock is old, most of it built around the 1950s. Our government buildings are old, so maintenance and facility improvements are extremely important. But for our school buildings that are aging, responsible leadership here, when thinking about those buildings, it means that we have to acknowledge that not every facility currently meets the needs of us being able to provide a 21st century high quality education, so our children will be able to read, write, think, speak, and compute at a level that will allow them to compete in this global economy, because it's no longer just competing in Philadelphia or the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. We're talking about global competition that we have to prepare our young people to be self-sufficient for when they leave here and they make a decision about what their future will look like, whether it's college, whether it's a skilled trade, no matter what it is that they decide to do in their future. This is the foundation. Our obligation and my obligation as mayor is clear: to provide students with safe, modern, and inspiring spaces that will prepare them for the future. So as we move forward, I want everyone here to think about this. We have to make sure that we're going to work thoughtfully and transparently. The key is together, guided by a shared goal that we want great schools that give every child the opportunity to thrive. Now that is for, and an article just came out today, and we got a chance to read the results of the surveys with parents and stakeholders, and you all give the school district a round of applause for their engagement process. You can't say that it didn't come from the ground up. Extremely important. So I'm looking forward to Dr. Wallington and President Streeter and Vice President Ashley to having conversations about that facilities process. But I also have to mention this about the vacant buildings. My administration is working with Superintendent Wallington, the school board, on a goal to put into their best and highest use every underutilized school building, including creating housing for students, families, our stakeholders, our staff, so that we can have stakeholders who live in the communities that they serve. Now, I want to tell you this. I think I have some pretty tough skin. If you've been viral when you didn't want to go viral on social media, you would develop some really tough skin. But some things do get under my skin. I've been serving in public office in my own right since 2005. I spent 10 years in Harrisburg, and 5 of those years as chair of the Philadelphia delegation, where I became the chief negotiator for Philadelphia-specific issues at a crucial time for the school district of Philadelphia, when then Superintendent Dr. Height told us if we don't get a new recurring revenue source, we won't be able to open school in September. Teachers are going to be laid off. SEIU, they're going to be laid off. Administrators are going to have to be scaled down if we didn't get new and recurring revenue. And every time we needed to do that, Rep. Napoleon and Rep. Parker, we delivered. We delivered a cigarette tax. We delivered a sales tax. We delivered revenue that we needed to keep the school district of Philadelphia going during that time. This is what I didn't know. Right now, I can think there are about 20 to 21 vacant, persistently vacant school-owned buildings here in the city of Philadelphia. I asked for a list because I want to know how many and how long. And I thought they were going to tell me maybe 1 or 2 years, maybe 3. Maybe we might even get to 4 or 5, Dr. Cooper. But we had schools that have been vacant, school district-owned buildings, vacant from 3 years up to 30 years old. Listen. I've never seen the legislature come up with a plan to put those buildings into good use. I've never seen a mayor come up with a plan to put those buildings in use. Right now, you know what they've been doing for that 3 up to 30 years? They've been red ink on the school district's budget. Buildings not being used. The school district, I didn't realize this because it's not my sphere of work. I didn't realize that, you still have to keep some of the heat on in those buildings so that the pipes don't burst. Did you know landscaping has to occur and those buildings have to be sealed from a public safety perspective? And I won't mention the crisis. Having to sit in a meeting when we have a public safety crisis in the city of Philadelphia and have parents and residents say it should be a crime for the city school district to allow these buildings to be persistently vacant in these communities for so long that they become public health and safety hazards right here in our city. Not on my watch. Not on my watch. Audience, did I just say we're talking about schools that are occupied right now? Is that what we just talked about? We talked about schools that were what? Persistently vacant. For how long? From 3 to 30 years. No one has come up with a plan. We're working through it now. We're going to work closely with the district, with our school board, our planning and development, Chief Deputy Mayor Vanessa Garrett Harley, Tiffany Thurman, along with planning and development, and all of our proposals. Of course, when we introduce our budget is in March, the budget introduction. That budget will be introduced to the City Council of Philadelphia for consideration. But I want you to be clear about what my goal and objective is. It's not okay for me to have 20 to 21 buildings persistently vacant, red on the school district's balance sheet, generating no revenue and not at all working in their best and highest use. We're going to find a way to do what has never been done in the city of Philadelphia before, develop a plan for those persistently vacant buildings so that they can add value to our great city. Before I leave here today, I'm going to ask everyone to do something that's extremely important to me. I didn't realize it until last week. I was talking to a fellow mayor who was actually on the West Coast, and they said to me, I know you just got here. They were elected long before I arrived. And they said, well, we've been watching this social media, and there's a sense of unity in the city of Philadelphia. I said, listen, we're working towards it. It's not perfect, but we're trying to ensure that members of our city, residents of our city, stakeholders here, they understand that when we work together and not in silos, but everyone who has the ability to make a contribution to move our city forward, there is nothing that we can't accomplish together. And so that's what I mean when you hear me say one Philly, a united city, and now, because we're in 2026, one America, a united nation. I want everybody to put one finger in the air for me right now. I want to hear you all repeat after me and say one Philly, a united city, one America, a united nation. You all sound like you're having lunch at the country club. Put your ones in the air. Let's do it the Philadelphia way. Let me hear you all repeat after me and say one Philly, a united city, one America, a united nation. We're going to do the best we can with what we have, but we're at war with the status quo in the city of Philadelphia, and we're going to leave the city and the school district better than we found it when we got here. Thank you.
been pushed to the stage by a senator, so let me make sure that we introduce him loudly and clearly. Join us in welcoming Senator Vincent Hughes. We also have representatives from the Honorable Joanna McClinton's office. Would you please stand and be recognized? And the Honorable Dorisha Parker, representative, thank you for joining us today. Several council members have been arriving, and the mayor's called y'all out, which I think is so much like a teacher. Honorable councilpersons Landau, Young, and Gaudier, please join us. Stand up so that we can properly welcome you to the State of Schools for 2026. Of course, we're tickled that Mayor Parker had some time in her very busy day to be with us. And now it's time in our program to hear about the occasion of 2026 State of Schools by Board President Reginald L. Streeter, Esquire. Y'all got an echo back here, all right. President Streeter believes that public education is not only a civil right, but it's also a human right. He is a very proud graduate of Germantown High School, has 2 children attending Philadelphia Public School, so he is all in with what's going on in the School District of Philadelphia. Join me in welcoming Board President Reginald Streeter.
How y'all doing today? I'd be remiss if I didn't just give a few shout outs. I know the mayor did an excellent job of doing that, so I won't go through the whole litany, but I just want to give a shout out to our elected officials. We appreciate you, all the work that you all do. I believe we are a family, and I believe that we're always working for a more perfect union. Appreciate you all 100%. Also, our union leaders, I see that a bunch of union leaders are here. Thank you. There's nothing without, what's the quote, Dr. Wellington? Nothing for us without us. I think I got it. Okay. Appreciate everything that you do. Also, I want to thank our parents. As a parent, I just want to say thank you for allowing us and permitting us to educate your babies. I know from experience as a baby that was in the district, but also as someone who has 2 children in the district and soon to be one who's here and another one on the way, to join my children as beneficiaries of this public good, this civil right of public education. I see fellow barrister brother Archie here. Appreciate you. Good to see you. And before I get into my comments, I'm a trial attorney, so bear with me as I tell you a little story as to why public education is important. In 1983, August 1st, there was a black boy who was born, right, into a world that was fresh off of a nation state that did not appreciate or continue the legacy of civil rights in our country. A mother who was trying her best to provide for her children through the harms of Reaganomics. And there's a man named Jonathan Kunjufu who talked about a black boys being undereducated. I was that black boy. And for me, standing here today as an attorney, as a father, as a son, as the board president, as a board member, I would not be able to do this without a quality public education. And it is not lost upon me that today we are at Edison High School. Think about that. We are at one of our neighborhood comprehensive high schools, and I think that is a very important fact here as Dr. Watlington, I believe, and the board is looking to reinvest and double down on our neighborhood comprehensive high schools. I'm also a beneficiary of a neighborhood comprehensive middle school, Leeds Middle School. And I think for me, just to kind of wrap up this brief story, because I don't want to go through the long story. I hear my vice president in my ear always telling me to wrap it up. But I didn't become an attorney fresh out of undergrad and fresh out of high school. I took a different route. I worked at TGI Fridays for 10 years, 6 of which as a bartender, some on City Line Avenue, when it was called City Line Avenue. All right, I'm proud of that. And I was able to matriculate through life because the whole child was educated. I had mentors. I had a village. I was at Leeds Middle School where they were trying out this thing called the Songhai Empire, where they infused African-centered pedagogy with academic achievement, which, from my understanding, is the precursor to some of the things that are being done in the system right now. So my identity was affirmed, but my education was affirmed. And I was given the tools to not only know who I was, but to interrogate it when I got older, because I was able to read, write, and do math. And that's what this Board of Education is designed to do, and that's what our vision is and our mission is. And I just want to say for the record, this is a civil right, a public good. And I'm going to use an analogy. Some people like bottled water. Some people like to order their water from another place. But no one ever says that we shouldn't invest in clean, drinkable water because I don't like clean, drinkable water, right? No one ever says, well, that part of the city doesn't really drink bottled water, so we can divest there and invest here. What we believe is that we provide clean, drinkable water for everybody, irrespective of whether they choose to drink it now, may need to drink it if they can't afford bottled water, or if they don't drink it at all. And I just want to really put this into your spirits today. Public education, and I believe this to my core, especially for our community, is more important than drinkable water. And we should not divest from it because people or individuals may not be accessing it in certain parts of the city and certain other parts of the city. So I just want to put that into your spirits today and think about that as we celebrate the work that we're doing. And I just want to thank everybody in this room for working with us as we tackle a war against chronic underachievement that we're starting to win. So with that, let me go to my comments, Vice President. So good morning. Thank you for joining us to celebrate our remarkable students, educators in the village that makes our school system thrive. It's an honor to follow our mayor, Sherelle Parker. She is the 100th mayor. I heard the first one in 300 years, and the district has been in existence for 200 of those years. A tireless advocate for our students, our leaders, our dignitaries. Thank you all for being here. I believe the fund for the School District of Philadelphia, a very important part of the work that we do. Members of that is here. I think the president of that board is here as well. I also want to recognize board members. I believe, obviously, the vice president is here. Please give her a hand. Please stand. And I believe there's another board member in the room, Board Member Wanda Novalis. If she's here, please stand. There you go. Appreciate you, and thank you for the work that you do as well. As a graduate, as I've mentioned before, of the school district, I now serve as its board president, as I previously stated. This work is deeply personal, as you all can feel, right from my opening comments. I'm also a father of 2 children, as I've stated before, and I do believe that I am and we are SDP. And it's not just a slogan, you gotta live it. Before we go further, I want to reflect on why we do this work. The board's vision is simple. Prepare every student to imagine and achieve any future they so desire or they so choose. Our mission is to ensure every decision moves our schools forward and lifts every student forward to success. Very important. This work is also carried out largely through the board's goals and guardrails, which for those who don't know, that is our way of how we govern ourselves, of how we govern the district, which we have made to work more effective by sharpening our focus on student achievement, student outcomes, and how we govern. Years ago, board member, former President Wilkerson, who's also an attorney and fellow barrister as well, talked about there was this turning point when we got back to local control. We had a retreat as a board. I wasn't on the board yet. And someone asked a question, why does the school district or why does the board exist? And board members said everything but the obvious, to educate children. And I think that if that pivot didn't occur, I think the Board of Education would not have hired Dr. Watlington. I think the Board of Education would not have been able to, I think, mature as it has matured as we stay under local control. And I think that more Reggies are more possible and more Sarah Ashley Andrews are more possible. So just want to give Joyce Wilkerson that shout out. Dr. Watlington is going to provide a more full picture, but I want to acknowledge the momentum we built. As board president, I can say board members are proud of the progress we've made, and we look forward to continuing to work shoulder to shoulder with our district and push the work to new heights. Using the board's goals and guardrails as a map, and with Dr. Watlington at the helm, we're launching our schools into the stratosphere. We are indeed in the middle of an educational renaissance in the city of Philadelphia, and the board couldn't be more energized. I know we are without a doubt. Dr. Watlington, Accelerating Philly. That said, this work has not been easy, and progress doesn't happen overnight. While there are important decisions ahead and challenges to navigate, they are all part of strengthening the school district. Our goal is nothing less than a thriving system of public education where every student has the tools and supports to reach their full potential. While our schools have made incredible strides sustaining this momentum, it requires fair and adequate funding, and we appreciate from the city and from our state delegation the increases in public and state funding and we are so appreciative, and we're going to continue being good stewards of those public dollars and give you all the arguments you need as you advocate for us in rooms that we can't fit in. We believe that's our job. We appreciate the investments for the 2025-2026 state budget and also from our city that continued, and our strategic investment is essential in ensuring that our schools remain strong. We know that our babies, and I use the word baby because I'm a father, flourish when the whole village comes together to build an ecosystem that empowers them to grow, learn, and achieve. The board remains super committed to expanding that village, working with the entire community, deepening engagement, ensuring every learner has the support and opportunities they need to thrive. As I wrap up, I want to remind us just how far we've come. We've celebrating our 207th school year, over 2 centuries of serving Philadelphia's children, and even with 207 years behind us, we're only warming up. With the energy and vision in this room, we're setting the stage for another 200+ years of excellence in education. Together, we're building a future where every child can dream boldly, aim high, achieve beyond expectations. And remember, this is a public good, and we appreciate the support, and we look forward to building this with you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Board President Streeter. We also would like to acknowledge someone who represents the household of Council President Kenyatta Johnson. Ms. Dawn Chavu, would you please stand and be recognized? Thank you for joining us today. Now it's time to introduce our superintendent, Dr. Tony B. Watlington, Sr. He was appointed in April of 2022 to serve as a consultant before being officially sworn in as Philadelphia's school superintendent in June of 2022. A collaborative and results-oriented leader, Dr. Watlington began his tenure by launching an aggressive 3-phase entry plan that engaged more than 3,000 district stakeholders representing every region of the city, or as Philadelphians like to say, every zip code. He wanted to ensure that a new strategic plan, Accelerate Philly, was not just his plan, but our plan. Under Superintendent Watlington's leadership, the latest National Assessment of Educational Progress, also known as NAPE, results show that Philadelphia's 4th and 8th graders have recovered faster academically from the pandemic compared to students nationally and in the most large urban school districts. And I think that deserves a round of applause. Since launching Accelerate Philly, student attendance has increased, teacher attendance has increased, test scores in grades 3 through 8th have improved, graduation rates are up, and dropout rates are down. That deserves another round of applause. Students have also improved in 8 of 12 performance areas over the past school year and 10 of 12 areas over the past 3 years. For his leadership in accelerating academic achievement, Dr. Watlington was named Superintendent of the Year by the District Administration Leadership Institute, also known as DALI. It's a national pre-K through 12th grade organization of about 14,000 school systems that provide leadership development opportunities for educators all across the country. Most recently, he was recognized as one of the district administrator's top 100 influencers for 2025 for his work in accelerating academic achievement right here in Philadelphia. Join me in welcoming Dr. Tony B. Watlington, Sr., our superintendent. There you go.
Thank you. All right, well, good morning, good morning, good morning. Please take your seats. It's a great day to be an educator. So happy to see all of you this morning here at Edison High School. I want to take a quick moment to recognize the very fine 51-year veteran and principal of this school, Mr. Ed Koch. Would you please stand and be recognized? 51 years in the school district of Philadelphia, and he told me this morning he's going to give us 10 more. I want to also thank all the students and ushers and the very fine musicians. Aren't the young people in Philadelphia super talented? Give them another round of applause. To all of the members of this village, teachers and leaders and support staff and community supporters, the wonderful elected officials who are here this morning, grassroots roots partners, philanthropic and business partners, good morning and welcome. In April of 2022, hard to believe, almost 4 years ago in a couple of months, when the Board of Education, President Streeter and Vice President Andrews and this Board of Education gave me the great honor to serve as your superintendent. One of the things I wanted to share publicly is what I think about every single morning in terms of what the Maasai people in East Africa say to each other. Even warriors greet each other, I'm told, not one of them, but I'm told, and I've read, that they ask, that part of the greeting is a simple question, and how are the children? This morning, I want to speak to how are the children in Philadelphia, in the nation's sixth largest city, eighth largest school district among some 15,000 school districts, home of Super Bowl champions, birthplace of democracy, and all the other great things that make this city so special to work in. And what I can tell you is we've still got an awful lot of work to do, but our children absolutely are accelerating toward a better and a brighter future. Thank you. I think District Spokesperson Braxton said it so well that I could probably just take my seat, but I think our young people have worked so hard that it bears repeating. Student attendance has increased, teacher attendance has increased, test scores have increased across a number of areas in reading and math in grades 3 through 8. Graduation rate has increased significantly. Our performance on the nation's report card, the only test, and I'll talk about that in just a moment, that's given across all 50 states and some 28 large urban, what we call NAPE tutor districts, have gone up significantly. And at the same time, the number of young people who drop out of school in our city has been cut by more than half. Give our young people a big round of applause. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to submit to you this morning that is absolute progress. And people always say, well, is it enough? And the answer is absolutely not. We recognize that we still have too many young people who don't read or perform at grade level of math. And we are going to continue to get forward progress on the field. And we're taking the position that success begets what? More success. Success begets more success. That said, I want to take a moment to thank a lot of people in this room this morning. And I want you to pay close attention to all these pictures up here. And it's always a risk when you do this. But when you have a district, a big, large, urban, complex school district that's making some significant strides to get better, that is defying the research which says that in any school or school district, the typical research says it takes about 5 years to transform and get to a point where you can begin to get better. We don't believe in the 5-year research in this administration. When we think about the aggressive vision that President Streeter, Vice President Andrews, and the board members set in 2021, I believe, around its goals and guardrails, it said improving student achievement is going to be the focus and the North Star of the school district. And as President Streeter, I think you talked about the core business and what does boards of education exist for. Please give let's have our board members to stand, and please give them a big round of applause again, please. I get a chance to watch school boards across the country, especially the big city school districts, and most boards do not spend their time focusing on academic achievement. This board spends its time in its meetings every month asking me to publicly present the data on teacher and student attendance, academic outcomes, graduation rates, and dropout numbers every single month. And because of that intentionality and focus, we are continuing to grow. The board is joined by some very fine unions. And former President Joseph R. Biden used to love to say that the unions built this nation. This is certainly a union town, and a very proud union town. And I want to quickly ask each of the union presidents, when I call their name, to stand. If you'll hold your applause to the end. We work well together, unlike many of the big urban school districts. And so I want to say a very special thank you to each and every one of these presidents. They hold us accountable. They push hard. They're tough negotiators, every single one of them. Bernadette Ambrose Smith, president of the School Police Association of Philadelphia Union, if you'll stand. John Bynum, president of Mid-Atlantic District Leader 32BJ, Service Employees Union International. Mr. Bynum, over here. Kira Coleman is the lead organizer, standing in for President Nicole Hunt at Unite Here, Local 634, if you'll stand. Oh, President Hunt is here. Excuse me, Madam President, and don't take it out on me next time we have to negotiate some stuff. All right. Dr. Robin P. Cooper, president of Teamsters Local 502, Commonwealth Association of School Administrators, and the author of the CASA One Conference. Mr. Arthur Steinberg, president of the Philadelphia Federation of Teachers. Please give them a big round of applause. Nothing for us without us. Thank you for your leadership. We have many key partners in the room, and it's always a potential challenge to do this, but we're going to do it nevertheless. And if we miss somebody, it certainly won't be because of lack of effort. Many partners in the room, I think, and I'll just call them and ask them to stand and be recognized. The mayor talked about the pipeline of trying to diversify the teacher pipeline. I think I saw Sharif El-Mekki from the Center for Black Educated Development, Children First, Comcast. If anybody's representing these organizations, we'll just ask you to please stand and be recognized. I know I saw Dr. Stacy Holland from Elevate 215. Anybody from Elevate 215, would you please stand to be recognized? The Father's Day Rally Committee, Bilal Qayyum. I saw him over there. Would you stand, Mr. Qayyum, and be recognized? Thank you. Anybody else from Father's Day Rally Committee? Heights Philadelphia in the house. JF's Human Services. I know some representatives are here. If you'll stand to be recognized. Independence Blue Cross. Lift Every Voice. The Morazzo Family Foundation. Jeff and his fantastic spouse are doing some great work supporting the school district. The mayor recognized this gentleman. I'm going to ask him to stand again to represent both himself and his wife, Jeanette, Mr. Joe Neubauer, and Becky Cornejo from the Neubauer Family Foundation. Big round of applause. We're pleased to have the president and CEO of the Fund for the School District of Philadelphia, along with the board president, Ed Zimmerman, chairman of the board of the Fund for the School District of Philadelphia, and several board members, including Bob Archie and Mr. Bob Bogle. Would you all please stand, representing the Fund for the School District of Philadelphia? There's Mr. Zimmerman, Chair Zimmerman in the back. And Madam President, thank you so much. That organization is critical to the success of the School District of Philadelphia and exceeded its funding goals from last year. Certainly the William Penn Foundation, anyone here from there? And I also want to ask Mr. Edwin Quezada from the Philadelphia Academy of School Leaders, if you'll stand and please recognize Mr. Quezada. We have a national curriculum consultant in the room, Dr. Sheila Brown. Would you please stand and be recognized? She's working with a lot of those states down in the deep South that are moving really fast, to include Louisiana, Alabama, and Mississippi, which in the nation's report card are some of the fastest improving states, surprisingly, way down in the deep South. We want to thank all of you for your time, your talent, and your treasures. I also want to take a quick moment to recognize the people in this administration. Any principals in the room, would you please stand and be recognized, including the principal of Edison? Give them a big round of applause. Big round of applause. the best principals and school CEOs anywhere in these United States. Any teachers and support staff in the room, please stand and be recognized. Thank you. Outstanding. Parents and guardians, if you'll stand to be recognized. Thank you. Outstanding. Let me finally say a quick recognition of the senior staff and cabinet. Certainly helping to lead the charge in academics, Deputy Superintendent Dr. Jermaine Dawson, if you'll stand. Deputy Superintendent Colonel Oz Hill, would you please wave your hand, sir? Chief of Staff, Sarah Galbally, former Policy Secretary for Governor Wolf. Chief of Communications, Alex Coppage. Chief Financial Officer, Mike Herbstman. Right there, Chief of Evaluation, Research, and Accountability, Dr. Tanya Wolford. The General Counsel of the School District, Attorney Lynn Rauch, if you'll please stand right here and be recognized. Associate Superintendent Kim Newman. Associate Superintendent Hildebrand Pelzer. Associate Superintendent Tomas Hanna. Chief of Student Life and Innovation, Dr. Brenda Elliott. Associate Superintendent of Student Life and Innovation, Dr. Brenda Elliott. Chief Diversity Officer, Dr. Sabria Jubilee. Our interim Deputy Chief of Employee and Labor Relations, Attorney Sandra Crawford. Are you with us this morning? Please stand. A new attorney joining the school district. Chief Information Officer, CIO, Melanie Harris. Chief Learning Officer, Dr. Michael Farrell. Chief Operating Officer, Teresa Fleming, over here. Chief of School Safety, replacing Commissioner Bethel, Mr. Craig Johnson. From the city of Chicago, who came a little further east, Chief of Special Education and Diverse Learners, Dr. Nathalie Nere. And I'm pleased to announce we now have an interim Chief Talent Officer to lead the Human Resources function, Dr. Christy Murphy Baldwin. Coming to us new from Prince George's County, Maryland. I want to thank all of these individuals, and again, another thank you to President and CEO of the fund, Catherine Epps. I'll ask you to stand and be recognized again because you work very closely with this cabinet. Thank you so much. And thank all of you who are a part of this village. Now on to, and I think we missed, maybe we just saved the best for last. I believe she's a member of if I recall correctly, the Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority. The Chief of Curriculum, Dr. Nashawana Francis Thompson. Dr. Nye, affectionately. Did we save the best for last, Dr. Nye? All right. Now let's get on to the why we do this work. Studies have shown over and over again, it is not rocket science how to teach people to read and to do math. And it is certainly not rocket science to figure out how to teach children of color so that we can close what people have often talked about as achievement gaps, which are really opportunity gaps. Poverty has a major impact on food insecurity, instability in housing. That's why we're so pleased that the mayor is focused on her housing initiative. And inability to get access to good quality health care has a major impact. When children have to worry about these things, it quite simply is very hard to learn in school. And we know that when kids drop out because of poverty, graduating from high school is a life or death issue in these United States. It really is. And so when I woke up on September the 11th this year, I picked up one of the local newspapers, several newspapers, to include the Inquirer and the Tribune, Mr. Bogle. I want you to know that. Read both every day. And I was expecting to see stories about, September 11th, 2001. because I often think about that morning and where I was at as a high school principal in another state. And I was pleasantly surprised that the headline that morning was that the city of Philadelphia, which has been referred to as the nation's biggest poor city for several decades, is no more. I was pleased to read that the city has moved to number 2, and the biggest poor city in the United States now is Houston, Texas, and the New York City schools come in at number 3. And it just reinforced for me this notion that if we want to teach all kids to read and to do math, if we want to get poverty under control, the best way to do it is to provide health care, it is to provide access to opportunity, and it is for us to ensure that all of our children come to school and attend school 90% of the month and every year, and that we make sure that they're making appropriate progress in reading and math. Because when children graduate college or career ready, it has a major impact on the economy of any city or any municipality. So that is what we're driving toward, to make sure that our students have access to opportunity. 4 years ago, someone in this room said to me, Mr. Superintendent, prospective Mr. Superintendent, I was one of 3 finalists, and someone in this room said to me, remember, part of your job is to create the conditions where everybody can do their best work, and part of your job is to inspire hope. You're in the hope-making business. I want to show you a short video clip of something that I hope not only represents what spokesperson Braxton talked about, not only represents hope that our young people can and are getting better and will do great things. The video I'm going to show you will bring context to what you see on this slide. This school district is working super hard, incredibly hard, under the leadership of so many people in this room, with the support of so many people in this room, to change the narrative. To change the narrative of underperformance and driving better academic outcomes, change the narrative with stronger business, community, and university partnerships, and to change the narrative by strategically leveraging all of the resources that are already in the nation's 6th largest city. When you think about the fast academic improvement, better than most big city school districts in the country, when you think about local and national press paying attention, when you think about parents indicating that they have an improved perception of the school district of Philadelphia, and that you can get a good education and not have to be in one of the 5 or 6 or 7 or 10 coveted criteria-based schools, it gives us hope that success begets more success and we can continue to get better. So on the very next slide, I want you to watch this short video, which is a true representation of what is happening in our school district, and it shows the promise of this great school district. I'm going to pause and let's play the video with some music.
George Lane has always had his eyes set on staying close to home for college.
For my dream goals, I want to be an oncologist, so a cancer research doctor at Fox Chase Center is one of the best centers in the country.
George is entering the school's nursing program. His dreams were inspired by his 2 late brothers, one who died from desmoplastic sarcoma, a rare cancer, and the other to gun violence. While hoping to one day cure cancer, his advocacy work, a simple project his freshman year called Enough is Enough, soon became a school-wide movement. It caught the attention of the mayor's office and landed him an internship with council member Isaiah Thomas. But the biggest payoff was a Gates Scholarship. He's one of 2 in his class to receive the prestigious honor, covering all costs to Temple University.
be able to go to school financial burden free, so like I wouldn't have to put no stress on my family.
The first in his family to go to college, grounded in his Islamic faith, family, and community. These next 4 years, he's focused on giving back to the same community that poured into him.
For the first time, several students from the academy at Palumbo have been accepted to Ivy League schools. The grade point averages are through the roof.
This class has defied anybody's expectations with over 22 Ivy League acceptances, 6 Quest Bridge scholarship matches, and a phenomenal 3 Gates Scholars recipients in one class. 3. And Brandon is one of those Gates recipients.
Oh, you are, Brandon?
Yeah.
What do you want to study?
I want to study human development.
Okay.
I'm hoping to become a pediatrician in the future.
Oh my gosh. Joyce, what do you want to study?
I plan to study chemistry at Yale, and I'm not really sure what my path's going to be, but I want to go into the medical field, so either in pharmaceutical or biotechnology.
I want to study both neuroscience and linguistics to further my passion in mental health advocacy and healthcare. In my sophomore year of high school, I founded the Mental Health Attention Initiative Club, which is a team of diverse students making change within our Palumbo community to make the discussion of mental health a dialogue and more normalized.
You're all going so far away from Philadelphia, though. But good luck.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Yes.
Congratulations.
That's amazing.
All right.
We can't wait to see what you do next. Good luck to you all.
Outstanding. This past school year, the Academy at Palumbo led all of our high schools in scholarship totals. We know that because last year we started tracking our annual scholarship totals and the very fine institutions that our young people get into. Give our students a big round of applause again, please. I also want to ask Principal Ms. Kiana Thompson to please stand to be recognized. Please stand, Principal Thompson. I saw Dr. Cooper say she's a CASA member. All right, and duly noted. All right, so let's get on with it. Where are we now as a school district? We're making some significant progress. I want to share with you several things that we've been able to do to collectively together, and this ought to make all of the people in this room proud because this is our collective work together. First thing I want to share with you is that we are providing strong fiscal leadership, and I want to look at the legislators in the eye, in the House and the Senate and the City Council and everywhere, and let you know that we are putting your dollars to good use and we are getting a return on investment. How do we know it? Well, this is how we know it. 1, in November, Moody's Ratings upgraded the School District of Philadelphia to its highest credit rating, investment grade credit rating in the history of this school district. That's number 1. Legislators, every year for the past 3 years, we've received a rating increase of some kind, signaling unprecedented financial prowess. This milestone builds on historic upgrades from both Fitch Ratings and Moody's in 2024. Our credit outlook was upgraded from stable to positive in 2023 and by Fitch in June of 2023. The bond market folks understand that we're making strategic investments in our students and schools, and they know that downstream we will have a major fiscal cliff if we don't continue to get additional revenue, but it shows confidence that we are using the resources appropriately. I also want to note that in addition to the best investment grade credit rating in history, our district has had clean, unmodified audit opinions every single year. And the district has been awarded recognitions by the Government Finance Officers Association and the Association of School Business Officials International. Fiscal responsibility continues to be one of the hallmarks of the district. I want to ask our CFO, Mike Herbson, stand and take a bow, sir. Give him a big round of applause. The next thing I want to say to you is that this district, being good stewards of the tax dollars, successfully negotiated 3 collective bargaining agreements with Teamsters Local 502, Commonwealth Association of School Administrators. Thank you, Dr. Cooper. The Philadelphia Federation of Teachers. Thank you, President Steinberg. And the School Police Association of Philadelphia, or SPAP. Thank you, President Ambrose. Each of these agreements honors the hard and strategic work of some very hard-working staff members in this school district, and it also maintains our record of strong fiscal stewardship. As a father of 3 children myself, I'm also pleased to let you know that in these collective bargaining agreements, for the first time in the history of our school district, our employees now receive 5 weeks of paid parent leave, a big, big improvement. Again, we want to say thank you to all these very fine union presidents and the opportunity to work in partnership with you. I also want to note that over the past 4 years, our Board of Education has been good stewards of these dollars, invested north of $873 million in school facilities across the district. And that includes building 4 brand new, state-of-the-art, best-in-class, you won't find any school built anywhere in the 50 states in the union better or more attractive than these 4 schools that were built in the past 4 years. And that's not enough. I want to be clear that they were built on time and on budget. Deputy Superintendent Oshill and COO Teresa Fleming, would you please stand up and take a bow? Give them a big round of applause. Amy at James Martin in Port Richmond, the Lewis Cassidy Academics Plus School in West Philadelphia, Thomas Holmes School in the Northeast, and T.M. Pierce was the first public elementary school built in North Philadelphia in more than 7 decades. Big round of applause. That is huge. So thank you to the board for having the vision to do that. I also want to note that in terms of how we've been using our resources, over the past 4 years, together we have reduced the number of schools that don't have adequate cooling from 118 to 54. We have a long way to go, but to cut that number in half with our resources is really, really significant. And while he's not here, at least I didn't see him here today. but is Jalen Hurts here, by the way? No. I think they still on that rest week or something like that, getting ready for the 49ers, I hope. We hope. Thank you to Jalen Hurts and his foundation for providing such generous funding to air condition almost a dozen schools. And I believe Colonel Hill tells me we continue to get a check every time the Eagles score a touchdown and Mr. Hurts has anything to do with it. We also want to thank the Eagles because they get out and paint a mural and help to spiff up a school every year and get their hands dirty. Give the Philadelphia Eagles and everyone a big round of applause. In addition to being, so number one, we're being good stewards, legislators, of those tax dollars. They're being put to good use, every penny. And I hope you will pick up a copy of the annual report that Chief Coppage and spokesperson Braxton prepared for us today. I want to next talk about something else that this district is doing really well. We're making improvements in academic achievement. Not only are we improving, we're improving faster than the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania as a whole and other large urban school districts. Let's talk about how. I want to begin by talking about the NAPE test, the Nation's Report Card. In 1969, long before I was born, the Congress developed, some of you were here, the Congress developed only one, I'm not going to ask you to stand if you were alive then. Congress, it's interesting. In this country, Congress only appropriated for one national test that it said that a representative group of children will take in all 50 states. And at one time it was voluntary, it's not anymore. And it's a test that's given in 28 urban school districts. It's given every 2 years, the only test. When you take the SAT, the ACT, only subset of kids take that, people who choose to do it. But Congress requires that a representative group of every race, ethnicity, gender, and so forth group take this test every 2 years. And the reason Congress required this in 1969 was in the 60s, Congress was concerned that the United States was going to fall behind in technology because President Kennedy wanted to get a person on the moon before the Russians, and they were concerned that in terms of academic achievement, the United States might fall behind and lose its competitive edge, being the world's largest economy. So how are we doing with this test given every 2 years? In 4th grade and 8th grade reading and math. Based on our performance in 2024, we have recovered more rapidly from the pandemic than the national and state averages, and we've rebounded faster between 2019 and 2024. As you can see here, if we look at 10 years before the COVID-19 pandemic shut down every school in this nation in March of 2020. Still remember the day. I was coming home from the gym when the governor called. March of 2020, March 13th, I believe it was the date. If you look at the 10 years of how our children in the school district of Philadelphia performed, 10 years before the pandemic hit, and then you compare it to what's happened from 2020 to 2025 for the 5 years since, here's what it shows. As you can see, from 2009 to 2019, 10 years before the pandemic, our 4th grade reading performance was in the middle of the pack. When you compare us to other big cities like New York, Cleveland, Miami, Baltimore, Los Angeles, et cetera. On the next slide, you'll see that since the pandemic, our 4th grade reading performance is slightly in the top quartile, so we did not make huge declines during the pandemic. Give our kids a hand, that's important. When we look at 8th grade reading, 10 years before the pandemic, our district was ranked dead last among these big city peer districts that are part of a network called the Council of the Great City Schools. When you look at 8th grade readings after 5 years since the pandemic, we've moved to the top quartile. Give our young people a big round of applause. They're making progress. Again, this is the only test that you can compare apples to apples across the 50 states in all of the large urban school districts. Let's take a look at 4th grade math. 10 years prior to the pandemic, our district was ranked next to last. Only the New York City schools, the New York City Department of Education, ranked lower. Fast forward 5 years after the pandemic, our young people have moved to the top quartile. Give our young people a round of applause. When we look at 8th grade math, which is probably the most telling of all of these graphics, 10 years prior to the pandemic, the School District of Philadelphia was ranked at the bottom in terms of our 8th grade math performance, with the District of Columbia being at the top, followed by Detroit and Chicago. Philadelphia is at the bottom. Fast forward, since the pandemic, our 8th graders have moved to second only behind Los Angeles in growth. Give our young people a big round of applause. Again, the NAPE test, which the public knows very little about generally, because most folks don't talk a lot about it, it's the only test, again, that's given across all 50 states and 28 large cities. So we're not only improving academic outcomes on national assessments, I also want to note that when we come here to the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania and we look at our state tests, every state in the United States has its own testing system, and then underneath every state, there are some 15,000 public school districts that use any number of different curricula, and some schools have no standardized curriculum in reading and math. We're pleased that we've been able to standardize our curriculum in reading, math, and science here. Let's look at our progress, 3-year progress on state assessments here in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Number one, our student enrollment has increased by 783 students. Last year, for the first time in a decade, our enrollment actually increased by 1,841 students. First time in 10 years. This year, that's worth a round of applause, absolutely. This year, when the SEPTA services were interrupted for 2.5 weeks, we lost some of those children, unfortunately, and so we hope we never have a SEPTA interruption again, because 52,000 children in this city rely on SEPTA, public transportation, to get to school every day. But we still ended up with a net increase of 783 students more than a decade ago. The number of students with regular attendance, meaning they come to school 90% of the month and 90% of the year, increased by 4.1 percentage points. To give you some context, that's some 4,250 plus students got up and came to school more often. In third grade reading, proficiency increased by 3.3 percentage points. Third grade math proficiency, a whopping 12.9 percentage points. Give our kids a big round of applause. Third grade through eighth grade math proficiency increased by 8.6 percentage points. And then when we look at the career readiness test, it's called the NAPE, which assesses whether our kids are ready for the careers in the workforce. We saw a whopping 16.3 percentage point increase. Let's give our kids a big round of applause. Our graduation rate has increased by 6.8 percentage points, and the number of students who drop out of school has been reduced by 2,237 students. Give our kids a big round of applause. Let me just say, the reason why I'm so hopeful with our work together, we're not getting better by letting the kids who don't read and do math well just drop out of school. We're not getting better by letting the kids who are hard to love. How many of you were hard to love kids? How many of you have had hard to love children? We only have 1 or 2 of them in the city of Philadelphia. We love all of our children. We're not going to give up on them, but we're not getting better by letting the least of these fall by the wayside. Let me tell you why. Years ago, we used to talk about the moral reasoning behind not letting kids drop out of school and live their lives in poverty. And plus, we know dropouts don't have good health insurance, good jobs. And the research now shows that dropouts just don't live as long as the rest of us. There was a study commissioned by the Neubauer Family Foundation a few years ago, and it told us that the cost for every child that drops out of school in this city, the cost to the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania and to the city of Philadelphia is $405,000. You do the math, 4,000 kids drop out in this city on average every year to the tune of $405,000. That's more than $1 billion of lost revenue for our Commonwealth and for our city. And so this is really, really important to us. We're excited about the work we've done, and we've got a lot more to do. I also want to tell you something else that's really exciting. For the first time in recent history, at least recent history, President Streeter said the district is 200, and how old is the district? 207 years old. We didn't go back to 207 years, but we know for the first time in recent history, this is the first time I'm pleased to share with you, and I'm excited. I almost want to do like Jane Golden and just jump up and down, but I'm not going to do that today. For the first time in recent history, all 55 of our traditional comprehensive high schools are accredited. Give our kids a big round of applause. All means all, as W.E.B. Du Bois said. Last year, the district earned the most accredited or reaccredited high schools in a single year. I'm also pleased to share with you that we have some schools that are getting a lot of attention because they are ranked nationally and they're ranked very highly in this Commonwealth. Our schools are doing really well, and we've got a number of schools that we've got to do better at, and we are committed to doing that. According to U.S. News & World Report, that organization that ranks colleges and universities, they also do K-12 high schools. 4 of our schools ranked in the top 100 of the 3,200 elementary schools in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. 6 of our schools ranked in the top 25 out of 2,300 middle schools in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. 5 of our schools ranked in the top 30 out of 741 high schools in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. The Academy at Palumbo, Carver Engineering and Science ranked in the top 1,000 out of 24,000 public high schools in the United States of America. Never let anybody tell you you can't get a good education in the school district of Philadelphia and you got to go somewhere else, Mr. President, as you always say. Central High School, the second oldest public high school in the country, I'm told, is ranked number 208 out of 24,000 public high schools in the United States of America. And the Julia R. Masterman High School is ranked as the number 8 ranked high school out of 24,000 high schools in this entire nation. Big round of applause. So excited. I want to ask all the principals of those schools, would you please stand to be recognized? Give them a big round of applause. Dr. Cooper says they're all CASA members. You're seeing a theme this morning. I also want to let you know in terms of where we are. 4 years ago, during my listening and learning tour, the public told us that we've got to do a better job returning phone calls, emails, and we've got to upgrade our game with our customer service. So under Chief Alex Coppage's leadership, who came here from one of the charter networks to lead our communications function, she launched a new two-way communication system called Let's Talk. It tracks every message that comes into that system, including phone calls, written messages, and the like. And it tracks how long it takes us to respond, and our stakeholders get a chance to give us a feedback score on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being highest. Today, Let's Talk is functioning in all schools and all across the school district. Last year, we received more than 64,000 inquiries from parents, guardians, community members, and others. And we've tracked it. Our average response time, President Streeter and Vice President Andrews, was 1.5 business days. And the feedback score that we received is 8.2 out of 10. Give our schools and our team a big round of applause. We're going to continue that good work. We're also pleased that in the past year, we relaunched Parent and Family University. I never had the honor of meeting the late Dr. Arlene Ackerman, the former superintendent in the school district, but I had the good fortune of watching her on C-SPAN one time. It was shortly after President Obama was elected, and it was interesting. They had a program, I'll never forget it, and both Dr. Arlene Ackerman and Paul Vallis, also a former superintendent here, were on this program, and that was my first introduction to both Paul Vallis and Dr. Arlene Ackerman. But I heard so much good communication from people across this city. Every zip code spokesperson, Braxton, as you say. And I've heard it from folks like Corbella Devine and Sylvia Sims, and whether they're elected or not, Madam Mayor. But I remember you telling me, along with so many other parents, that it was such a big hit. And I'm so pleased, legislators, that using some of the resources that you have been sending here, and those additional resources, Rep. Parker, Councilmember Gautier, all of you, we've been able to relaunch Parent and Family University to provide free programming to our parents. They love it. There are 4 big buckets of areas that we're supporting our parents and families, because if we want to help our kids, we've got to help our families and our parents. We also know that our parents and guardians are our children's first teachers. And as a parent myself, sometimes we need help. And so certainly the 4 big bucket areas are student attendance and joy, health and wellness, talking about physical, mental, and social emotional health and wellness, civic engagement, to the point that we're on record, we're using this tool of Parent and Family University to help all of our young people by the time they graduate over time to get registered to vote so they can take their rightful place in this democracy. And we're focusing on the 4th big bucket of financial literacy. I want to recognize both Chief Alex Coppage and Deputy Chief Jenna Monley. Ms. Monley, would you please stand? Let's give them a big round of applause. Ms. Monley's in the back right there. Very quickly, I want to reference that we've partnered with the Mayor's Office also on the Extended Day, Extended Year initiatives, things that will help working families. The Mayor talked about it, so I won't go into a lot of detail. In terms of access, we filled 93% of those seats in the after-school programming, and 75% of our schools offer intramural sports. What were the outcomes, Watlington? Well, 100% of our students experienced some very robust extended day, extended year programs, everything from chess to robotics to intramurals, athletics, art, and things that help to grow them. 75% of the participating students came to school 90% of the month and 90% of the year. Now, on average, across the entire school district last year, 61% of our children were in school 90% of the school year, which is the gold standard if we're going to continue to lift up test scores. In the extended day, extended year schools, I'm so pleased with the Mayor's initiative, that number went from 61% to 75%. We now know one of the ways to improve student regular attendance, even after the pandemic. 65% of our parents and caregivers reported satisfaction with the after-school programming, and we're going to continue on this in this path. I also want to note that as a part of partnering with Mayor Parker, this past year we continued to invest in the Mayor's City College for Municipal Employment. The City College for Municipal Employment provides free workshop training and a pathway to employment with the City of Philadelphia. We remove a lot of the red tape and the barriers so we can get kids educated into a good paying job with some good benefits for the nation's 6th largest city. The current program includes skilled trades, healthcare, technology, business administration, public safety, and STEM. I want to say a very special thank you to former president of the Community College of Philadelphia, Dr. Guy Generals, as well as our new president of the Community College, Dr. Alicia Marshall. We are working very closely in partnership with the city's community college. Last year, 42 district students participated in the program, and they represented 5 of our high schools. And if the principals are here, I want you to stand. Randolph High, Swenson High, Edison High School, I believe he's here. I saw him earlier. Mastbaum and the Workshop School. Give them a big round of applause. Additionally, this year, 86 students are currently enrolled in the City College for Municipal Employment, representing, and again, I want these school principals to stand, Muriel Dobbins, George Washington, South Philadelphia, and Roxborough. Give them a big round of applause. Outstanding. Very pleased that our students are receiving Act 158 credit and City College for Municipal Employment paid stipends. It makes a difference. Big round of applause. Rep. Parker likes that. Also, over the past 3 years, in the past year in particular, we've completed 7 phases out of 8 phases of a facilities planning process that the mayor talked about, and we're closing on getting the final plan on President Streeter and Vice President Andrews' desks this winter without delay. I believe that some members of our facilities planning project team are here with us today. If you served on the overall project team or any of the facilities plans advisory committees or advisories, would you please stand to be recognized? Let us thank you. Outstanding, outstanding. Thank you. Last November, you may recall that President Street and the board directed the superintendent and the team to complete phase 8 and to do it in a manner, Mr. President, that was very transparent and that engaged deeply with our community. Through that process, we identified the real issue, the problem we're solving for here is to figure out how to drive more high-quality academic and extracurricular programming into every school in every neighborhood. Because historically, there's been just too many disparities. And in order to do that, it means we've got to use all of our resources more efficiently. Our time resources, our budget resources, our professional development resources, and the Dr. Farrell's Chief Learning Office. We also have to use our buildings more efficiently, building resources. So the plan will result in recommendations that make progress toward achieving these 6 desired outcomes. When we bring that plan to President Streeter and Vice President Andrews and the board very soon, it will focus on these desired outcomes: to support communities and student achievement. Unlike in previous years, we expect when we finish this plan for student achievement to go up and not go down. We want to maximize the use of our school buildings. It's no secret, some of our schools are incredibly under-enrolled, and we've got other schools that are bursting at the seams. And we're going to tackle that issue and not kick this can down the road. We want to provide more access to pre-K in the school district. We want to provide more access to the rigorous courses that our students need in the high school level and middle schools. All of our schools, when we're finished with this plan, will have access to Algebra 1 in the middle grades. That is currently not the case. And all of our high schools will offer not less than 5 advanced placement courses when we're finished with this plan, because we're using our limited resources more efficiently. When we finish this plan, we'll provide more access to high-quality arts, music, and physical education across schools, and we will enhance our career and technical education opportunities by investing only in the career and technical education programs that are aligned to the high-wage and high-demand jobs over the next 20 years in the city of Philadelphia. So there are 5 options that we'll be sharing with the Board of Education for our facilities: to maintain the facilities as they are, to modernize, to co-locate, repurpose, and in some cases, there will be some facilities that we will recommend not to continue to operate as schools and to close. After analyzing and reviewing the feedback from our families, there were 5 major themes that emerged for us. That our community was very clear. We should strengthen pre-K through 8 programming through the better use of our space. No one said this is a bad idea. We were told we need to reinvest in neighborhood high schools. That's why I'm so pleased that this year we are at a neighborhood high school, the great Edison High School. Reduce unnecessary school transitions for students. Some parents said, if I've got an elementary and a middle grades student, I don't want to make all these trips and have my kids in so many different schools. And every time we go through a transition, we've got to learn a new faculty, we've got to learn a new way of doing things, we've got to get a new group of friends and the like. And we've also heard about this theme of how we need to expand access, more choice in our 5 through 12K criteria-based schools, while at the same time investing in our neighborhood high schools. Not either or, but both and to invest more in career and technical education. I'm pleased to tell you that per the board's directive to make sure that we check in with our families and communities every step along the way, so at the end of the race, end of the day, this will be our plan, just like our strategic plan. The facilities plan will be our plan. The facilities plan won't be President Streeter's plan, Vice President Andrews' plans, Tony's plan. It will be our plan. I'm pleased to tell you that more than 8,000 Philadelphians, a record, more than 8,000 completed the district's facilities planning process emerging theme survey, representing every single zip code in the city of Philadelphia. Most of the people who took this survey earn less than $50,000, self-reported information. 48% of the survey respondents told us that they either have or are connected to a child who receives special education services, either an IEP, individualized education plan, or a 504 plan, 32%, just about a third, told us that they have some connection with English language learner students. And 5% of survey respondents told us that they needed to complete the survey in a language other than English. Most importantly, or equally important, I should say, 70% of the people who took this survey this fall told us that these are the 4 right things that should drive the plan that we bring to President Streeter and the Board of Education. And so this affirms that we're on the right track, moving in the right direction. So I'm really pleased and thankful to share that with you. So as we prepare to bring these recommendations to the board, I do want to just note for the record that this deep engagement included a project team with 30 diverse members across this city. It included 9 advisory groups representing 170 individuals plus across this city. We engaged in more than 47 community conversations with more to come, and more than 13,700 individuals completed survey responses to give us feedback all along the way. And so we are excited about the recommendations that we will be bringing forward very soon. I also want to next I want to share with you where we are going in terms of the nation's 6th largest city and 8th largest school district. So where do we go now? Where do we go next? Where are we going? We are going to double down on 3 major focus areas in 2026. Not surprisingly, we're going to put our foot on the gas to accelerate academic achievement, because even though the test scores have gone up, graduation rates have gone up, and the dropout rate has gone down, we won't be satisfied until all of our students read and do math on grade level. So we're going to accelerate academic achievement. Some of the things we're going to do, we're going to continue to invest in our teachers as we have launched core standardized reading curriculum. We've launched a core standardized math curriculum across all schools, and we've launched a core standardized science curriculum across all schools. This is so very important. The late Dr. Constance E. Clayton, who was my mentor for a year before her death, she told me all the time, most of the times when she would call me, she would say, "Young man, do not forget, Philadelphia has a lot of transient children, and you must pay attention to the curriculum, because what kids learn can't be so widely different across a school district. We've got to have one school district and not a system of schools." I can hear her voice telling me that. And she said it all the time, and she was absolutely right. I'm so pleased that our teachers and the PFT and the unions, we work together to endorse launching a new math curriculum in year 1, a new reading curriculum in year 2, a new science curriculum in year 3. I'm so thankful for the professional development, Dr. Sheila Brown, our curriculum consultant, Dr. Dawson and the academic team, the assistant superintendents. This is really important. You can come to school every day, 100%, not 90%. It doesn't matter if you are not experiencing grade level content. See, here's what happens to poor kids. And I was one of those, so I can speak to this. I know it firsthand as a free and reduced lunch student myself, Mr. President. What we do with poor children is we hand them off to specialists, we send them off way to somebody to fix, and we think somehow we can tutor and mentor our way to grade level standards. And when you go into classrooms, what you find across the United States is that kids don't experience grade level content, and it's why so many kids are not at grade level in the United States. The curriculum matters. I'm so thankful to give the team a big round of applause for launching this standardized curriculum. Most kids in most school districts, urban, rural, or suburban, drop out in 9th grade. Several years ago, a partnership was developed with the Newbauer Family Foundation and the To and Through Project at the University of Chicago to really focus in on the 9th grade problem. And guess what? It's working. One of the reasons why that dropout rate is cut in half is for years we've been focusing in on those ninth graders, and it is making a big difference. Mr. Neubauer, give you a big round of applause for your support here. Thank you. We're working with two major Research One institutions, University of Pennsylvania and Temple University. Now think about this. It's not rocket science how to close achievement or opportunity gaps. We know exactly what to do in the richest nation on earth. We know exactly what to do in the nation that has the world's largest economy, and we know exactly what to do in the nation that has the world's strongest military. But guess what? We don't have the will to do it across all 50 states. One of the things that we know is that when we look at what the research tells us what works and does not work, and figure out how to marry the research over 50 years, the lived experience of people in schools, with the data that our research department delivers to us every day, we know we can continue to get better. I want to make a special note about the partnership with these two universities, with two College of Education deans, Dr. Shrunk from University of Pennsylvania and Dr. Shealy from Temple University. Catherine Shrunk and Monica Shealy, would you please stand up and take a bow? Let's give them a big round of applause. We're going to take those partnerships to the next level, and we're going to also double down on our data systems within the school district. I also want to note that in addition to that, we're going to improve our customer service in the coming year. We're going to invest in staff training, and we're going to invest more resources in partnerships that work. We have a strategy in our strategic plan to identify all of our partnerships in the city, and we are going to double down on those partnerships that are working. Next, we are also going to partner with our families as equal partners. Later this spring, we are going to launch a faith-based partnership summit with faith leaders across the city of Philadelphia, diverse faiths, to come be very strategic partners with us. And then later before the fall semester, we're going to launch the first parent app so that those of you who carry a cell phone can get all your district news on that cell phone. And we're going to launch a parent ambassador program where we're going to pay some people on the payroll to really help us to get to some communities where it's really tough to get face-to-face with parents and children. More to come on that in the new year. I want to also share one other thing that we're going to do. We are going to pay down and eliminate our $300 million structural deficit by fiscal year 29-30. We're working with the Board of Education to eliminate that structural deficit. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I don't have to remind you that about 13 years ago, our district, and the Mayor Parker alluded to this, I believe she said she was the chair of the Philadelphia delegation in Harrisburg, when there were some huge financial challenges in the school district. I'm going to take 6 minutes and I'm going to take my seat because we're right at time. The district around that time, 2012 or so, was facing a $1.3 billion deficit. Thanks to the work of a lot of people, including my predecessor, Dr. Bill Hite, that deficit came down significantly, and we are going to retire that deficit completely by fiscal year 29-30. More to come on that. We're excited about that. Next, I want to also share with you in terms of where we're going. I want to announce something that we're going to do to help to significantly improve student achievement. And this is the last thing I'll share before I conclude. One of the places in the United States of America, one of the few places that has figured out how to take 50 years of research and essentially close the performance gap between how white and African American and Latino children perform on standardized tests. And they figured out how to ensure that all of their kids, all of their graduates, go on to some kind of college or university, is the Harlem Children's Zone. A couple of years ago, took a visit to the Harlem Children's Zone with Mayor Parker, one, to help inform her vision of year-round education and the extended day, extended year schooling process that is showing significant promise and progress already in our school district. We also wanted to take a look at what would it look like to have true year-round schools that are choice, schools of choice. So I'm pleased to announce that in this year, we are going to plan to open 2 new schools, school programs, a K-8 school and a high school, the K-8 school first, in North Philadelphia as a part of the North Philadelphia Promise Zone. This will be the first big city in the country to replicate the success in the Harlem Children's Zone with the support of its founder, Jeffrey Canada, in the United States. Is Shana Terrell here with us this morning? Big round of applause. Shana Terrell is here from the Harlem Children's Zone, representing Jeff Canada. We're going to be partners in opening these 2 state-of-the-art schools in existing facilities. They'll be choice schools. We won't make anybody go. Parents can decide to come or not come. But here's what we're going to do in those schools. We are going to make sure these are going to be demonstration schools. We're going to set these schools up to demonstrate for all the rest of us how to not only get better, but get better faster than our district average. We're going to make sure the school is staffed with their very best, most effective principals. We're going to ensure that these schools are staffed with the very best, most effective teachers. They're going to get faster year-over-year improvement. And in partnership with Temple University in our already launched Temple-focused scholars, Temple Future Scholars Initiative, we are going to commit to every single one of these graduates from this K-8 and high school going to college. Give this a big round of applause. Madam Mayor said, in the spirit of James Baldwin, what did she say? I don't watch what you say. I don't listen to what you say. I watch what you do. In that spirit, I encourage you to watch what we do in 2026 with the North Philadelphia Promise Zone. I also am pleased to announce that I am going to appoint as an administrator on special assignment one of our principals who I believe will be excellent at helping us to conceptualize how to do this good work. We're going to reassign her to administrator on special assignment, and she's already had some significant partnerships and community connections, and we're going to leverage all of that to the benefit of our children. I want to ask Dr. Aaliyah Katanch Bradley from Bethune, if you'll please stand and be recognized. One of Philadelphia's own. I want to conclude the way I began. Thank you, Dr. Katanch Bradley, for stepping up and being a great partner. One of Philly's finest. I'm not going to say anything about your sorority because I probably shouldn't have mentioned yours, Dr. Nye, because we're not going to do everybody. But let me conclude the way we started. I want to call to our attention again the Messiah greeting and how are the children. I can assure you we're making progress. We're going to double down on making more progress, more for our children, not less, more opportunities, more access, more exposure, more good things to come in 2026. I'm pleased and honored to be your partner. Good morning, and thank you so much.
We want to thank Dr. Watlington. Let's give him another round of applause. Please keep in mind all of our cheerleaders who will be competing this weekend and the PIAA. Don't forget them. We also have one more assignment for all of you, whether you're a Philadelphian, whether you're a teacher, proud graduate, proud supporter, please stop by the I Am SDP campaign booth. Grab some selfies, take a picture in the framed artwork, and then do a hashtag for us that says I am SDP in all caps. And something that I need to learn to do, add it to your signature on your email. So when you email someone, they will look down, they will see your name, and at the bottom it will say in big bold print, I am SDP. Now I'd like to introduce the band who is going to close us out, and I want to see more of you rocking it. Come on, let's kind of get it together now. Let's rock it. Thomas A. Edison High School drum line under the direction of Emily Rose Ristine, who is going to play us out of the auditorium. We're going to rock it one more time. It is only 12:12, so you got about 20 minutes, almost 20 minutes before you head out. Let's give them a round of applause. The drum line from Edison right here. And thank you again for coming to the 2026 State of Schools, State of Public Education, put on by the School District of Philadelphia. Thank you so much. Take it away, Director Ristine.